call to order the Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting to order. It's March 19th. It's 5:40 p.m. And I'd ask for a moment of silence. Mr. Root, if you'd like to give us our invitation.
Pray with me if you'd like to. Dearest Creator, our God, thank you for this day. Thank you for the meetings that we've had, the ability we've had to do work for the county, and the opportunity we have now to do that. I pray, just as you've been faithful with us, setting the stage so we can communicate, exchange ideas, and council can make informed decisions, that you would be faithful likewise tonight, that you guide this meeting and all we do. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen. Mr. Durham, would you lead us in our pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I hear a motion for the approval of the minutes of October 17th, 2023 regular minutes.
Make a motion. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
If I
sir.
could jump in now, due to the time constraints and we have a presentation, I'd like for a motion to amend the agenda to remove item number 7, the discussion items, and we'll reschedule this meeting as soon as we can to get those back on there, but there's just no time to have a meaningful discussion for them. So a motion to amend the agenda to remove item 7, discussion items.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you, sir. We'll work to reschedule as soon as we can.
All right. The next item on the agenda is a strategic plan for a sustainable tourism economy. Mr. Phil Shirley and Mr. Ken Sloan.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for opportunity to share with you. I'm joined today with Mr. Ken Sloan, President and CEO of Visit Oconee SC. And we appreciate the opportunity to share the strategic plan for a sustainable tourism economy that our board of directors has recently adopted. We've also shared with you who's on our board, so you can kind of see the engagement of the community as part of that packet that we gave you. Visit Oconee SC, at the direction of our board of directors, recently hired Berkeley Young and Young Strategies to complete a 5-year strategic plan to provide a clear path forward for sustainable tourism. Berkeley is a industry leader in research-based trends and behaviors, and works all over the country in research-based plans. So we were excited to get him to help us with this process. As part of this strategic plan, Berkeley made multiple site visits here. He met with a number of our tourism stakeholders. He did board retreats with our board, as well as engaged over 50 responses from our community leaders based on the current state of the tourism economy to build this plan for us. Ken's going to share the highlights of the plan with you today, but I want to invite you to the Chamber breakfast, community breakfast on Friday, April the 5th. That'll be at the Blue Ridge Electric Co-op Community Room, where Berkeley Young will be here. That'll be hosted by the Chamber and the Oconee Economic Alliance. Berkeley will be here to present that plan to our community leaders and stakeholders. So we're going to highlight the plan today. I wanted you to see it before it rolled out and get it to our stakeholders. It's no secret that Oconee is an incredible place to live, work, and play. We're all here for a reason. And all the indicators that we track are sky high. Everything that we track is higher than we've ever seen it. It's not just tourism. It's tourism, it's housing, it's community development, it's economic development. We live in a desirable location. And so with that, we wanted to put together a plan that helped us create a sustainable future. We want to protect the very things that make us special, so that you'll see a lot of that in this plan. So with that, I'm going to get out of the way and let Ken talk you through this plan, and again, invite you to that breakfast on April 5th.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's always good to be here to talk about tourism in Oconee County. But before I get into the strategic plan itself, I just want to give you a quick background. I know we're limited on time, so I'll be fast. But just to give you some history, we started the Tourism Bureau back in 2008 from scratch. We just had an organization that agreed at that time that we needed to have a tourism-based organization. And so we did this with a marketing strategy back then depended mostly, if not entirely, on outdoor resources. Primarily, we had Lake Jocassee and Lake Keowee, Chattooga River rafting and fly fishing, waterfall hikes. We had camping and RV stays at our state and county parks. So we were totally outdoors from May through September, primarily June through August. And so at that time, we were also extremely limited in our lodging. We had 3 hotel rooms, 3 hotels, and now we have 6. We didn't have any short-term rentals. Now we have several hundred. Jazz on the Alley didn't exist, and now every Thursday night from April through October, you have over 4,000 people showing up in downtown Seneca to listen to music and visit. And as Oconee grew, the tourism economy grew along with it, with new restaurants, event centers. The music center here in Walhalla is doing a great job. We have tap rooms and a brewery. But at the end of the day, our primary tourism season remains to be May through September. And so we really don't have to do any marketing for their summer months. People are coming here for Lake Jocassee, Lake Keowee, the Chattooga River, and we're packed, so we need to back off of the marketing. So part of this plan, our strategic plan, was how do we create a year-long sustainable plan without bringing in more people during the summer months? So with that, you have in front of you the strategic plan that we just recently completed. I'm going to go through that. I'm not going to read through the whole thing because I know we're limited, but yes, sir, Mr. Mangum. But it starts off with our mission statement, which is Visit Oconee, South Carolina promotes sustainable visitation to all parts of the county by highlighting our spectacular natural assets and promoting our communities, local events, entertainment venues, museums, shops, and lodging. So as we go into the plan and looking at our organizational structure, we are essentially a 4-person team and with a board of directors of 11 people, of which Phil and I are 2 of those. So right now we have our board focus is to get them to be hands-on, more hands-on. Historically, we, actually had a brain thought. I forgot to mention something that's very important to me, that before, at 2008, we started. 3 years later, we had a 3-year budget. At the end of the 3 years, the county council at that time said, come back in 3 years and tell us how you're doing, and we'll decide whether the tourism gets to grow anymore. So I was able to come up here and stand here 3 years after that and show them the award we won, which was the Tourism Bureau of the Year for the Southeastern United States. So Phil and I went to New Orleans and accepted this award on behalf of Oconee, which made us one of the best performing tourism bureaus in the Southeastern United States. I'm not sure how I could forget that part. I love talking about that, but anyway, now you have it. So anyway, going back to our organizational structure, we have a board that's going to have to be hands-on. We've always had a board that's been more structural in terms of coming to the meetings, but now we're going to have a hands-on board, and we're going to have a training staff of our 4, me and Charlotte, Chanda, and Caroline, who will be going through training and being refocused on what our job requirements are and how we can build the sustainable tourism through those winter months. To start with, we're going to start with the smart marketing, the ever-improving visitor experience, and the sustainable tourism economy. Those are the 3 legs of our tourism plan. So starting with the smart marketing piece, we have the external marketing, and we have the internal marketing. We're essentially focusing on the off-season. We really don't need to promote, as I said earlier, the summer months. So we're going to be better utilizing our resources to promote things like the Walhalla Performing Arts Center, the museums, Chattooga Bell Farm, and the events, and trying to pull in travel writers and small groups and organizations, small meetings as well. So from an external marketing perspective, we're looking at, number 1, deliver on authentic and engaging outdoors. This includes bringing in maybe sporting events or other fairs and focusing on the communities like Fairplay and Westminster who do not already have these assets. Number 2 are focusing on our attractors, which we already have. We don't need to really focus on that anymore, which is our natural resources. Promote active lifestyles, which is focusing on evening and weekend promotions on events, music, performing arts, class, beverages, farm-to-table, local dining, and shopping. The 4th is the dynamic visitor information services, which is what we have at our visitor center in downtown Walhalla on Main Street. So we have a staff of 4 that greet people when they come in and answer all their questions. So we think we're doing a great job of that, but we always have room for improvement there as well. Number 5, we have to build an aggressive PR strategy, which is building press stories and bringing in travel writers. We've been doing this for many years. We've had a lot of publications. We've had a lot of stories publicated on our behalf. In fact, I have a travel writer coming in the week after next who will be here for about 3 days doing waterfall tours for the winter. And then finally, under external marketing, we have tracking and accountability to demonstrate our return on investment. So we can come back to our board, we can come back to you as a county and show you how this plan has worked for us in terms of our success. And B, then there's the internal marketing, which is the building of awareness and impact of travel with the citizens and actual officials within Oconee County like I'm doing here now. We do a lot of internal marketing anyway. We speak to a lot of the groups here. I'm very involved with the newcomers organization. I speak to them a couple of times a year, and the other organizational clubs that invite us to come speak to them. So we're trying to get the word out internally as well. And we host events within the county and speak at civic meetings. And so at the end of the day, our success has to be measured using our tourism-centric performance indicators. And some of those measurable indicators are at the bottom of that page, which is the annual plan with trackable return on investment. So we'll continually be monitoring our return on investment based on the marketing money that we're spending. Increased October through March visitation. Our total marketing energy this year is going to be to drive visitation into Oconee between the months of October and March. Longer lengths of stay. Obviously, the longer they stay, the more they spend, the more our businesses endure. We need to focus on new travel industry businesses, which is something that's going to be a little bit more long-term, things that we see a need for that we need to go out and recruit and pull in. Increased visitor spending, growth in lodging room demand, and increased visitor satisfaction. The second one is the sustainable tourism economy, which is fiscal management of our tax-based funding. I think I might be getting, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself a little bit. The second one is an ever-improving visitor experience. So this is selling from within. We want to encourage locals to do this as well. So how do we get our visitor experience expanded through the locals who share their stories? We want to focus on that which drives visitation by expanding the existing experiences, approve and add new hiking and bicycle trails. Obviously, we have the Stump House Mountain Bike Trail that's getting heavily utilized, which is great. It's very successful. How can we help develop that out? How can we create more bicycle trails? You know, we have several biking events here throughout the year. How can we expand on that during the off-season? Support outdoor outfitters and guiding companies, which we do a lot of already. So we have, you know, Joe Cassie Lake Tours, you have the fishing guides on the Chattooga, Wild Water on the Chattooga. They're all doing outstanding jobs through the summer months. So again, we want to expand on those shoulder months and help them develop that business as well. Developed October through March activities, which I just alluded to. Host recreation events. We just had, or Riley Johnson of Seneca just had a half marathon the other day, and I think there were several thousand people that participated in that. We like to work with him on those. We do over 20 fishing events every year on Lake Hartwell and Lake Keowee. Pickleball is a huge sport that we need to get more involved in. All of these things can offset or inset our tourism revenue during these winter months. And then support development of new activities in our local towns and coordinate countywide tourism master plan. So all of these things are going to be elements that we're developing now and we'll be working on, obviously, over the next 5 years. How do we measure that? Through the development of Outdoor Recreation Committee, develop new businesses with outfitters and guides, new recreation events to drive visitation, development of a tourism master plan, new winter activities, creation of new activity venues, new trails and kayaks, new trails for kayaks and bikes, growth in off-season visitation, and expanded cellular service in the north. I think I failed to mention that, but, you know, it's a struggle for a tourist who's here, never been here before, and they're up in the northernmost corner of Oconee trying to find their way home and realize they don't have cell service. Be a little scary, but anyway, I know you guys are doing a great job of expanding cell service, but it'd be wonderful if we had 100% coverage. And then from sustainable, the last phase of this initiative is the sustainable tourism economy, which is the management of our tax-based funding, nurturing our staff and team through training, support our hospitality industry, businesses and workers, and advocating for a sustainable tourism economy. For 3 different legs of that is the Visit Oconee team, to continue to work with our team in training to help them better serve the tourism community that visits Oconee County. 2 is workforce, which is always a challenge with our local businesses. You get a lot of part-timers here in the summer. They're off to school in the winter, fall and winter. It's hard for them to get workers. How can we help with that? That's going to be a part of our mission. And then finally, advocacy for travel industry issues. So we are the collective voice for the travel industry here in Oconee, and we speak out in support of our partners in hospitality, tourism, events, and recreation. And that's one of the best things about our job, is to go to a tourism event like I did last weekend in Atlanta and share the Oconee story and the opportunities in recreation and tourism opportunities we have here in Oconee, and why they should come here to visit, and most importantly, why they should come here to visit, stay, and help our tourism economy. So with that, I know I went through that pretty fast. So I do appreciate your time to hear our story, where we were and where we're going. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions? Any discussion? I appreciate you showing up, Mr. Sloan, and giving us an overview on this. And Oconee is a discovered area now, and we need to capitalize on it as best we can. Thank you.
During the winter months. Yes, thank you guys, appreciate it.
All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?